Okay, welcome back to What's It Wednesday Monster Edition. This, just so you know, is going to be my last What's It Wednesday for a few months. I'll probably come back to it, but I need to find access to a new skull collection before I can continue. But we'll finish it off with a bang here, figuring out what the heck this creature from Venezuela was. So, the original article, of course, said that this is some sort of a Chupacabra, or the pet of an alien from outer space, extraterrestrial. That, of course, is not the case. Now, I was not able to find any, actual biologist going through and explaining what this is, so we're going to have to do it on our own. And all we have to diagnose this species is this one single photograph. So this is actually going to be a pretty tricky thing to do with 100% accuracy. And unfortunately, I can't give you 100% accuracy in today's identification. But the first thing we need to do is try and figure out how big this animal is. The only clue that we have from this photograph are the flies that are all over this thing's body. If these are normal house flies, that would put this animal at about the size of a house cat, maybe a little bit smaller. So it's actually a pretty small animal. One of the most striking features of it is that it seems to have a lower jaw that's way longer than the upper jaw. That's actually just an illusion. If you've been following along with What's It Wednesday, you'll notice that this thing has a dislocated jaw. You're very familiar by now looking at the jaw bones of animals, and you can tell that this jaw has just been dislocated and the bottom jaw has been pulled forward. I think that's really cool. It makes it look kind of like I don't know if you ever watched or read the comic Spawn. There's a demon in there. I think he's called Violator or something. When he's in demon form, he has a really long underbite, and it's funny. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this Chupacabra is, it's demon from Spawn. But if we look at the teeth, we see that there are canines, there are probably incisors, though it's hard to see them. There are premolars and there are molars. If we look at the hands, the front paws, they're sort of hand-like. They're not monkey paws. This isn't some sort of a primate, and we can tell that because monkeys have fingernails like we do. And this thing has claws. I mean, the claws are sitting on top of the fingers in sort of a fingernail-like fashion, but they're definitely claws. They're fairly long and they're cylinder-like. And then if we go to the tail, it's got a very, very strong tail. Very thick, strong tail. So these are our main clues. And then followed by all that, this was found in Venezuela. We know from its teeth that it is definitely a mammal. Even though it doesn't have fur that's visible, it might have had mange and lost its fur. The fur might have come off after it died for some reason, one reason or another. That's not very unusual. This happens to mammals all the time. They lose their fur. So, definitely a mammal. Should be something common to Venezuela. It's about the size of a house cat. Really strong, thick tail. This is definitely some sort of species of opossum. The hands are a match. The teeth are a match. The tail is a match. And even the nose is a match, a really good match. So all of these things, even the nose is pretty decomposed at this point. You can still tell that this is a little possum nose. The huge zygomatic arches, the huge cheekbones, are also very common for possums. And that little tiny, the small eyes in comparison to the head, also a very possum-like feature. Opossum-like feature, I should say. Now, there are over 100 species of opossum in the Americas, and so trying to narrow it down to which one of those this might be, that's where it gets tricky. Most likely, this is a common opossum, because the common opossum, Didelphis marsupialis, the common opossum is, of course, the common opossum in South America. So, most likely it is a common opossum. There is one thing that tells me this might not be the case, and that is that the common opossum typically has an extra molar. I can only see 3 molars in this picture, and it looks like it's consistent on the left and the right sides of the jaw. There's only 3 molars. There is a fairly big gap between the last molar and then the jawbone, the part of the jawbone that goes up into the skull. So maybe this thing is missing a molar, and that's not that unusual. I know people that are missing molars or just never grew them, certain molars. I know dogs that just never grew some of their teeth. So just not having a tooth you're supposed to have, that's actually fairly common. So even though this is missing one of its molars, it still could be a common opossum. And that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say that this is Didelphis marsupialis. If you have a better argument, I would love to hear about that in the comment section. but I'm going to go with that. Definitely not a Chupacabra. It's definitely not a demon or a pet of an alien. This is definitely an opossum, most likely a common opossum, Didelphis marsupialis. So that is it for What's It Wednesday for the time being. I will be focusing more time on creationist stuff and more time on evolution stuff. So a lot of you have been asking me for that lately. And I also have this really great series that I hope you've seen now with my nephew that we're doing about the elongated skulls of Peru, the alien skulls of Peru. So check that out. So long for now.